You think you'll survive because you're smart, because you've read the forums, watched the documentaries, bought the gear. But the truth is, none of that matters because when the first alert hits, you won't act. You'll hesitate. You'll check your phone. You'll wait for confirmation. And while you're waiting, the grid's already collapsing. The blast wave's already inbound. And the people you thought were your neighbors are deciding whether they need your food more than you do. This isn't about nuclear fallout. It's not about bunkers or bullets or bug-out bags. It's about the 5 lies you still believe. 5 myths that get people killed in every real-world collapse. Not because they're weak, but because they're wrong. Let's break them down before you make the same mistake. Because once this starts, you don't get a second chance to unbelieve a lie. When global conflict starts, you don't die because the enemy targeted you. You die because you believed myths dressed as truths, 5 of them. 5 ideas repeated so casually in conversations, headlines, and online debates that you never stop to question them. But when systems fail and the world fractures, each one turns into a silent trap. Clean, simple, fatal. This briefing exists to strip those lies out of your head before the pressure hits. Because in a real-world World War scenario, survival isn't cinematic. It's physics, it's biology, it's psychology, and it's the ugly mathematics of human desperation. Let's begin. This is the deadliest belief in modern society, the assumption that danger announces itself politely, that you'll get a warning, that you'll get a countdown, that you'll know exactly when to panic. You think alerts will be early. You think warnings will be clear. You think governments can evacuate millions in minutes. You think you'll have a moment to get ready. You won't. Look at every large-scale disaster in the last century. Warning systems don't break dramatically. They stagger, they choke, they misfire, or they fail silently. Missile alerts delayed. Earthquake warnings arriving seconds too late. Tsunami sirens disabled by misread sensors. Evacuation orders given after the exits are already burning. Technology fails, but the real problem is human delay. People freeze because it doesn't feel real. Officials hesitate because they're afraid of causing panic. Confirmation takes too long, and the impact doesn't wait. When WW3 begins, the gap between early and too late shrinks to seconds. A blast wave doesn't negotiate. An EMP doesn't retry the signal. A cyber attack doesn't ask for confirmation. A grid collapse doesn't show up on your schedule. And your own biology betrays you before the world does. Under extreme stress, your prefrontal cortex, your logic center, drops offline. Your survival brain takes over. Fight, flight, or freeze. And most people freeze. They stare at their phone. They search social media for proof it's not real. They wait for someone else to tell them what to do. That hesitation is a body count. You won't have time. The disaster already began while you were deciding if it was real. This is the comfort belief, the lullaby of civilization. You think when WW3 starts, professionals will take over. Sirens will sound, resources will deploy. And someone will come for you. They won't. Governments struggle to handle one major disaster at a time. World War III creates 50 at once. Cyber attacks on infrastructure, grid failures, supply chain breakdowns, nuclear threats, communication collapse, biological contamination. Emergency systems don't synchronize under pressure. They fracture. Grid operators lose contact. Hospitals switch to backup, then lose that too. 911 lines are flooded. Satellites flicker or die. Roads clog. Airspace locks. State and federal channels fragment. There's a hierarchy in crisis. The national machine protects military assets, leadership continuity, and strategic communications first. Civilians don't make the cut. You imagine coordinated evacuations. You get nothing. No signal, no food delivery, no rescue convoy, no triage center, no shelter space. Your survival becomes micro-scale. One household, one fortified room, one rationing strategy, one mental plan. If you're waiting for the government to save you, you already lost. In WW3, national survival takes priority. Personal survival is on you. They won't. Not even close. Collapse starts inside the population long before infrastructure crumbles. You think panic looks like screaming mobs. It doesn't. It looks like silence. It looks like neighbors watching each other through curtains. It looks like a handshake that tightens too hard. It looks like footsteps behind your house at 2 a.m. Behavioral collapse is a known sequence. As stress rises, empathy shuts down. Risk tolerance spikes. Morality becomes fluid. You stop being a neighbor. You become a resource or a threat. And the first people who become dangerous are the ones who already know your name. There are 3 human archetypes you'll meet within 48 hours of total breakdown. Normalcy zealots. They believe society will bounce back if everyone just behaves. They demand fairness. They escalate when it's denied. Opportunistic predators. They adapt instantly. They form crews. They spot weakness. They exploit chaos. Desperate parents. The most unpredictable. Fear for a child rewires the brain. They will lie, beg, break, or steal to feed them. They'll kick your door in if they think your cabinet has formula. None of them are evil. They're just humans stripped of comfort. And so are you. In global conflict, the first enemy is panic, and panic wears familiar faces. You think you're ready because you bought stuff, a tactical flashlight, a bug-out bag, a foldable shovel, a fire starter you used once on a camping trip, a filter you never tested, tools still in their plastic. This is the blind prepper mindset, the most common, the most fatal. Gear without skill is dead weight. More gear doesn't make you prepared. It makes you slower. You'll carry tools you don't know how to use. Batteries that die in the cold. Knives that go dull after 2 cuts. Rations you didn't rotate and now taste like rot. Electronics that fail the moment an EMP hits. Real survival isn't about things. It's about knowing how to think when nothing works. If you can't filter water using trash, if you can't build warmth from debris, if you can't patch wounds with improvisation, if you can't stay mentally stable under pressure, then your gear is just expensive ballast. In WW3, your equipment won't save you. What's in your head will. You think pressure will sharpen you. You think adrenaline is your superpower. It isn't. Under extreme duress, your brain hijacks itself. It narrows your vision. It distorts your perception of time. It erases details. It blocks memory recall. It overrides reason. This is called amygdala hijack. And it's not dramatic. It's silent. It's internal. And it's what gets people killed without ever realizing they were in danger. They loop useless tasks. They forget where supplies are. They argue instead of act. They freeze until the opportunity to move is gone. The only defense is pre-commitment. You must decide now what actions you'll take when the signal hits, where you'll shelter, what you'll grab, how you'll seal off a room, how you'll survive for 24 hours without power, guidance, or outside help. The work isn't done during the crisis, it's done before it. When the world ends, your brain becomes the battlefield and you're the first casualty unless you train it. This is the hardest part to accept. The deadliest assumption in WW3 is the one you make about your own capability. You think you'll adapt. You think you'll figure it out. You think your instincts will kick in. You think you'll just know what to do. You won't. Collapse doesn't start outside your window. It starts between your ears, and once your mental structure breaks, nothing outside you can fix it. The world won't kill you. Your assumptions will. When World War III begins, everything you think you know evaporates. You don't have time. Help isn't coming. People will turn. Your gear is useless without skill. Your mind will collapse without training. Survival isn't about hope. It's about habits, discipline, clarity, pre-committed actions, and hard mental boundaries. Those are the only assets that don't run out of battery. When WW3 begins, the only advantage left is the one already in your head. Right now, which of these lies do you still believe? If the first alert hit your phone tonight, would you freeze or move? And when the pressure starts crushing your mind, will you think or break? Like the video. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Share this briefing with someone who still thinks survival is about gear. Our other breakdowns should be appearing on your screen. Now watch them next and I'll see you tomorrow with a new briefing.